Hello and welcome to the STEMCstudio channel. In this video, I would like to show you how you can share code across STEMCstudio products, and in fact with any other gist that's out there, by using a feature in STEMCstudio called references. This could be useful if you have a complicated mathematical object or function that you want to test extensively in some other project, but then you only want to use exactly that mathematical object in many other projects. Okay, let's get started. The example I'm going to use today is actually to use the geometric algebra number that was developed in the geometric algebra first course. So this will be relevant if you're actually doing that course and you are looking to do applications using that number. Let's get started. Okay, so the first thing is you need to have your source project. And so I'm going to go and look for the one that contains the geometric algebra first course. That's just in my list of projects. And as you can see, it contains the geometric number here. It contains the test code for it. I can run the tests. I'll hide the documentation. I can run the tests and so forth. Okay, so you need that project because you're going to need to remember this gist ID up here. Okay, in fact, I'm going to copy that right now. Okay, so now I want to start a brand new project in which I use that file, a file from this geometric algebra first course. So I know, for example, in this particular case that I want to have a project that uses JSXGraph as my visualization tool. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a brand new project from a JSXGraph template. And since the next course in the geometric algebra first course deals with reflections and rotations, I will name mine reflections and rotations. There we go. So let's create that project. The project starts, we can run it, and there you can see the JSXGraph stuff happening. What we want to do now is we want to bring in a file which is called e2ga.ts from the other project. So the way to do that is first you need to have the package.json file open in your project. Now, if you can't see the package.json file, just make sure that the hide configuration files option in the project setting isn't checked, because if it's checked, many of the configuration files won't be visible. So go to your project settings, uncheck that hide configuration files, and you'll see the package.json. Okay, now there's just a very standard sort of incantation for bringing in files into your project. And we just call this references. So we have references, and this is a map. The key for the map is the name of the file that you want to bring in. So in this case, it's e2ga.ts. That was the name of the file that actually exists in my other project that I want to bring in. And then we have another map, and that's just basically really saying that this is a data structure. And there are going to be probably other possibilities for where you can bring things in future. But for this particular project, or for other, the way that we're going to bring it in is we're going to use a property called repository. And when we say repository, we can then kind of like say, what is the type of thing that we are going to bring it in from? So in this case, we're going to bring it in from a gist, okay? So at this point, I need to have my gist ID, and it's in the copy buffer, so I should be able to space, Control V, and drop that in. Okay, in future, there may be other ways of bringing in other shared code. The formatting here is following basically a sort of a standard that's established for package.json for referring to other files. So although it's limited right now, this is kind of like standard. Okay, now that we have the file that we want to pull in, and this will be its name in the target project, which is this project, and we have where we're going to pull it from, we can go to the project menu and we can select this pull references command. What this is going to do is it's going to loop through all of the referenced files that are defined here, and it's going to pull them into the project. So I can have more of these if I want. I can set up commas here and set up more files and so forth, right? But in this case, I'm just going to do one. So let's do that. Let's pull references. And there you can see that E2GA was just pulled into the project. So now we have a copy of this E2GA file. Okay. And we can use it. So this is exporting the class geometric. So if we come to our main file here, we can type import, and we need to specify what we want to import. And then we need to specify the name, E2GA, okay. And if I go back to here and hit Control Spacebar, it brings in geometric, just because that's the only thing that is available in that file. So now let's create a new multi-vector. And we'll call it, we'll use the sort of full constructor syntax to create that. I need to have the word new there. And so this is going to create a multi-vector, which is really a vector. It has the x component of 1, y component of 2. And let's say we use it here. So we've got a.x and a.y. Okay, so you can see here that if I change this to 1, 3, change it to 2, 3, okay, then my code's following it. And obviously there's way more stuff in the multi-vector class that we can use. We've got all of the operator overloading stuff, and we've got a number of methods. So I'll close that off. And with that, I think I have my project prepared for use. I hope that was useful to you. References are a very easy way of sharing code across STEMCstudio projects without going to the trouble of creating a full-blown library. Of course, a library is an option, and that's how STEMCstudio brings in many of its, many of its code that it wants to reuse. But when you're building your own mathematical objects and things like that, you may just want to do a source level import. Now notice that when you open the project, in fact, I'll just go and first thing I'll do, I'm logged in, so the first thing I'm doing, I'm going to upload this thing. So now this project has its own gist ID. If I come out here and for any reason I kind of come back into the project, it is not going to update this e2ga.ts file from the other project. That only happens on demand. So if you want to make an update, you just go to the menu and do pull references. So basically you get to have control over when updates kind of like happen. Okay. I hope that was useful to you. If you liked the video, please give me some thumbs up, give me some likes so that I know that this is the kind of video that I need to be making. And if you want to see more videos like this, then hit the subscribe button and they will come your way. Okay, take care and happy coding. Goodbye.